to you live from the RMITV studios in the heart of Melbourne, the city that wrote the book on, well, it's StudioA with Dave Thornton. On tonight's show, Minister for Public Transport and the Arts, the Honourable Lynn Koski. From legendary rock bands Mondo Rock and Daddy Cool, it's Ross Wilson. And comedy from The Bedroom Philosopher. Music from Memento and regular guest Jess Harrison, Carl Chandler. But now please make welcome the host of StudioA, Mr. Dave Thornton.
There we go. That's a great way to come back. You're just watching Channel 31 there. And I just turned my microphone on. So we run a slick, tight ship here, guys. Thanks so much. Initially, I know the people in TV land might know, but we haven't got a big audience here tonight, but you guys have turned up. So thank you guys so much for being here. One person slightly whistled, the rest of them went, whatever, champ, do some jokes. But welcome to StudioA. This is the second episode for 2009, and it's been a good run for me because I don't know about you guys. Got a bit of a style upgrade. I bought myself a new pair of sunglasses. Yeah, that's right. It's true. I was at Sunglass Hut. Have you guys been down there? And I saw. Oh, one person has. They coughed. Obviously, that's a competitor. You dry reach while I talked about Sunglass Hut. That's weird. But I went to buy a pair of sunglasses, and there was this weird pair of Oakleys that were on sale. And you know what their selling point was? They had bulletproof lenses. What are the odds that you're in a war zone getting shot and you go, this is fine, but I really don't want to squint. This is really annoying me. And like, you know, like, what are the odds of someone's getting shot and they just go, no, I just need to cover my eyes. I reckon I can get this one. That's what I thought. Like, I felt like if you had it, how James Bond would it be? Like, really cool if it's just like... That's what I thought. Really cool. But it has been a great week for me because I don't know if you guys saw, last week there was actually the Brunswick Festival on at Sydney Road. Any of you guys see about that? Yeah, Sydney Road's got enough traffic on it without putting on a festival. I was there. It's amazing. Any of you guys up that end, Sydney Road? Yeah. A couple of people? Yeah. You know what it's like? Sydney Road, it's out of control. If any Melburnians you know. Sydney Road, there's like trams and there's buses and there's taxis and it's all on the one street, pedestrians, cyclists. Like, there's a freaking Franco Cozzo, for God's sake. You know, like you think everything's kosher and you think you've gotten past, you go, oh, look, it's a marble unicorn. Like, you don't need that, right? And the thing was, you know, on that street, it's weird because there's cyclists everywhere. Because I was reading this that actually cycles have outsold cars by 40% last year, which is great. But then cyclists are everywhere. You know, they're on the road just darting in and out. I actually saw a bike get hit on Sydney Road. Like, I'm starting to think that those little pictures on the road that indicate bike lanes, they're not that at all. They're just chalk outlines of cyclists that never made it. It's out of control. But it's true, I was on Sydney Road and I got to the end of it, away from the city, and I actually got fined, which wasn't cool. It's true, the sirens went off behind me and I got pulled over. And I had that situation. I don't know if you guys do it. I always do this when the cops pull me over. You know, initially you don't think, I don't know what the problem is. And you kind of pull over, but then the cops get behind you and they just make you freaking sweat. And then you sit there and you think everything's fine. And then after about 5 minutes, your brain's just ticking over. After about that 5 minutes, you're sitting there just going, maybe I have stabbed someone. Like, you just don't know, right? And this cop's gotten out of the car, swanned up to my car and given it that very, you know, wind your window down. Wind your window down. You know, that kind of just like, wind your window down. Like she was at it, right? And it's just gonna wind your window down. Like it got to the point, it was really annoying. Well, I just had to stop my mobile phone conversation. And it's going to say, there's a long distance phone call. What seems to be the problem, officer? The police, she just looked at me going, oh, right. So you're talking on that mobile phone. Any particular reason you're on that mobile phone? You're like, why am I using it? Told you it was a long-distance call. I could try shouting, but... said, oh, right, smart ass, are you? Right, got that. Oh, that phone call's just cost you $155. What do you reckon of those apples? So that's right, I'm on a $500 cap with Optus. They can bloody pay for it. Court cases next week. But guys, on tonight's show, are you revved up? Yeah! Sweet. We just plucked 2 people from the pub next door, so they're excited. So until they have to pee in about 3 minutes, it's not going to be good. But coming up on the show, we've got the Minister for Public Transport and the Arts, the Honourable Lynn Koski. We've got legendary rock icon from Mondo Rock and Daddy Cool, Ross Wilson. We've got comedy from the Bedroom Philosopher, music from Mementa, and regular guests Jess Harris and Carl Chandler. So without further ado, welcome to Studio A! That was camp. Over the summer break here at Studio A, let's get serious for a while, we haven't been sitting still. We're always looking at ways to improve the smoothly oiled machine that is this show. And we've been looking forward to unveiling these changes to you, our local viewers, and presenting them with Studio A 2.0. Now here's a sample of the many improvements, modifications and changes we've got in store for you this season. Management is now being outsourced to someone with more crowd experience.
Good evening, viewers. Connex, so the audience participation tickets ready. Feet on the seats. That's $200 fine, lady. On the spot.
He is good. Thank God for Connex. Over the break, we've been training up our crew to improve the technical side of the show. We promise to you, our viewers, that this season there'll be up to 20% less leaving the camera lens cap on. You guys laugh, that's pretty good for us. Like last season, we recorded 2 whole episodes with that thing on, so I think we're working well. Now here at Studio A, we're big proponents of working conditions. That's why we've found enough in the budget so that every writer in the show now has their own office. We dropped that sketch, which is nice. We'll, moving on. You know, you have those ideas that you think this is going to be cracking, and then it's like, you know, when you're a kid and you're about 10 and you go, it's going to be an awesome idea, I'm just going to jump off the garage. and your parents go, you'll break your leg. And you go, whatever. We were about to jump off the garage and the people upstairs just went, not going to happen. So, moving back in time. That's not funny, it's just unprofessional. To get more bang for your Studio A buck, our voiceover man and dolphin trainer to the stars, Oliver Clark, has also promised to show his array of acting abilities throughout the second series. Isn't that right, Oliver?
That's so true, Dave. And, you know, I spent my time in the summer over in the famous West End over in London. And I learned a thing or two about acting. I've become quite good. And I'd like to demonstrate some of my fantastic acting ability. But first, I'm going to tie up my shoelace.
Really was a great summer. Back to you, Dave.
Wow, he is good. Justifiably. Finally. All right, that I'm so proud. Finally, to sizzle the show up a little bit, we've taken some inspiration from DVD special features, and I'm actually going to have my own audio commentary over the top of the show. Yes. Here we see my infamous special feature joke, if you can call it that. Oh, this is sure to make the show much more interesting, you know, entertaining. Yeah. Don't hold your breath, big guy. I mean, this should help us give a bit of a, you know, boost in ratings, things like that. What, this cliched gimmick? You are kidding yourself. Hopefully cement Studio A as the jewel in Channel 31's crown. Bring back the fish tank! All right, can we just cut it out? You know, just being negative, just for negative's sake, all right? Sorry. No, I'm not. Look, I'm not the one that's wearing women's underwear for the sake of comfort. Oh, God, I hate you, Thornton. One day soon I will crush you like the worm that you are. So I'll see you at home then, will I, big guy? Cool. Can you pick up some bread on the way? Yeah, sure. So there you have it, folks. Some of the new innovations you're going to see around this year, so stick around. We'll be right back with Victorian Minister for your arts and your public transport, the Honourable Lynn Koski.
I like the way you dance. 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 I like the way you dance.
Welcome back, folks. folks. It's time to welcome Studio A regular with her prediction of what's around the corner for us all. It's Jess Harris.
Hi, Dave.
Hi, Jess. How are you?
Yeah, good. Really good.
You really good?
I'm fabulous.
Now, last week's segment went really well the week ahead because you remembered last year you were doing a bit of what's hot, what's not.
Exactly.
But now you're doing a bit of predictions.
Yeah. Well, it's similar. Like the hot and not, I was telling people what was on the rise.
Yeah.
This, I'm getting a bit more specific. I'm predicting what is happening the week ahead.
Oh.
So I'm giving you advice, a bit of Hollywood goss, even an emotional forecast. People focus on the weather, but I'm going to forecast our emotions, how we're going to be feeling.
Yeah, I've got a high over my heart.
Yeah.
Without further ado, this is Jess Harris with the week ahead.
With my natural ability to predict and dictate and forecast, I will report to you through my eyes what is in store for the week ahead. From monuments to moments, fully informing and equipping you for the minutes, the hours and the days that make up our Monday to Sunday. So looking forward now, predicting the 9th until the 16th of March. Our social outlook, we're on the tail end of a massive long weekend that has depleted energy, funds, brain cells. So this week is a good week to plan a board game night or start that origami class that you've been talking about. Throw a progressive dinner party. My tip is, though, make a batch of Frog in a Pond early in the week so that you're prepared if you need to bring dessert at the last minute. In Hollywood gossip, Angelina Jolie will kick Jennifer Aniston in the shins at an awkward run-in at a New York restaurant. Now, I'm not quite sure of the time and place that this will happen, but I'm definitely picking up on tension between these two girls. Also in showbiz this week, Oprah will cover how to lose weight, her struggles with weight gain. She talks to her book club about her emotional eating, and Dr. Oz shows Oprah how to drop a dress size. Warnings, the Bermuda Triangle is looking for a comeback, so sail safely this week. And in the world of fashion fads and trends, costume makeup is huge this week. More is more when it comes to applying your face. Being pigeon-toed is back, while candelabras are well and truly out. This is a great week to have a broken leg or an arm because plaster casts are popping up on the runway everywhere, from Paris to New York, so do not fear a fall this week. And looking ahead in news, a piece of space junk will fall out of the sky, landing in a family's backyard pool in Santa Barbara, while our PM is going to be buying a new exercise bike. And in health, there will be an outbreak of lice in 3 major CBD buildings. Looking to be an itchy week, so avoid trying on other people's hats, helmets and wigs. And next week's little tip-off, if you're planning on painting your house, make sure you get the right colour because redoing it is time-consuming and physically taxing. So, yeah, get it right the first time. And now we're looking ahead, our week in numbers. 6 brides will get cold feet and leave their groom at the altar at the last minute. 89 children under 7 will ride Shetland ponies, but only 30 of them will actually enjoy it. While 2,984 library books still remain overdue. And in Word Watch, the most used word for next week will be clients, and the least used word will be emasculating. And finishing off with our emotional forecast, there is a sprinkling of nostalgia showers coming in on Wednesday. So this will make us want to go down memory lane, pulling out old diaries, report cards, letters. Enjoy this trip down memory lane. It's clearing by Friday, bringing us back to the present day. That is the week ahead, Dave.
Fantastic, Jess.
Woo!
There we go.
A lot to take in, a lot to take in.
It's a lot to take in.
Get it down, though, because it'll help you get through the week.
There's 89 kids sitting out there in TV land at the moment going, is it me on the Shetland pony? I don't want to do this. I've got my Xbox. Leave me alone.
Well, only 30 will enjoy it, unfortunately.
Yeah. And don't share wigs. That's for all the cast members of Underbelly out there.
Scratch, scratch, scratch.
Peter O'Brien, I'm looking at you, mate. Stop looking like Colonel Sanders. But Jess Harris, thank you so much. That was the week ahead. Give it up again for Jess Harris. Our next guest is the current Minister of Arts and Public Transport, which, yeah, fair enough, I think it's a logical combination because it explains the graffiti that covers train stations. Now, with no further delay, it's kind of unusual for public transport, please welcome the 749 Express from Altona, Lynn Koski. Thanks, Lynn. Take a seat. Thanks for joining us, Lynn.
It's a pleasure.
Now, that's a very different portfolio, transport and arts. How do you go juggling those?
Well, public transport's a lot of the day activity and arts is a lot of the evening activity, so it works quite well.
Of course. So you could combine the two and just, have a bit of a night bus with, paying comedians to perform.
You should, funny about that, but the Comedy Festival does get sponsored by Connex and Yarra Trams. So,
do you?
Yep.
So
there's a combination and a happy marriage.
Yeah, so that's been pretty legitimate that I haven't paid for a tram in about a year. So
I'd prefer not to hear about that. Yep. It's good that you don't use the tram and that's why you don't pay for it. Yeah.
Did you take a tram here tonight?
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
No.
I would have taken it. Spring Street to the top of Swanson Street. You're not going to get pinned there. You can... That's fine. All right, that's enough cheap jokes. Okay, moving on. I've got this written down because I want to... I couldn't remember it, to be honest with you. Too much drinking at a young age. But in the time here, you've been, obviously, since the government's been in power, since 99?
Yep.
Yeah. You've been Minister of Education and Training, served as Minister of Finance and Minister of Post-Compulsory Education, Training and Employment, and now you're Arts and Transport Minister. How do you move from one portfolio to the next?
Well, you have a lot of people who support you and provide lots of advice, and I suppose it's steep learning curves. I didn't, when I got public transport, realise the learning curve was going to be quite so steep, but hopefully I'm over that sort of hump.
Yeah, it hasn't been a great run because of the heat, obviously. Now, we can blame it on the stinking French, can't we? I'll admit there was a little bit of me. You know when foreigners come across this country and especially the English or whatever, and they just go, you got snakes, you got spiders, all too deadly, oh, it's crazy, and you kind of go, yeah, it is. I kind of think even with the French, they gave us the trains, but they're like, it is too hot here, and you're like, yeah, couldn't handle it. We're too bad for you. But, so what kind of happened? Was it just the trains kind of couldn't handle it at all? It buckled under the pressure? Or?
Did buckle under the pressure.
Literally, yeah.
The train system is basically geared for particular temperatures and you've got to cater for the cold weather and the hot weather, and so they set it at particular temperatures. So in London, it's quite a different set. The track is set at different temperatures than we have, so in terms of the tension in the track. So when it gets up to 44, 45, 46, air conditioners aren't geared for that, particularly on the older trains, and neither is the track. So it does buckle under some of that pressure, and it's not unusual. We do days over 36. We do get problems, but I suppose what's unusual, and I think it's terrific, is the media attention now because so many people are using public transport. Yeah,
well, that's true, and you abolished at least Zone 3. Which
yes.
Is good. I thought you actually abolished Zone 3, and finally Deer Park's gone. But no, the people at Deer Park keep watching. It's because it is. I suppose you've got the transport and you've got the arts. And I was reading your website, a bit of your bio, and you like to dabble in the arts.
Yes, I do.
Yourself?
I do.
You're a bit of an artisan.
Yeah. Try to be a bit creative.
Yeah.
Works in both portfolios.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It says here, this is one, you can build a dry wall.
Yeah, well, stone walling is actually important for politics. So dry stone walling is actually very good because you can do it without water.
Oh, exactly right. That's fantastic. Oh, well, you got out of that one. We're actually going to get you a bit of a dry wall now. So, but it has been, obviously, it's been rough lately with all this heat and things like that. And I mean, the trams themselves, I know with the air conditioning gone and things like that, it's not easy because it's often about 5 degrees hotter in there anyway because, there's plenty of just random homeless people that make it a lot hotter. And, but, I've insulted people from Deer Park and the homeless, so that's great. But, and the last thing, this is what my producer wanted to say, you do fund the Comedy Festival, but, Formula One made a loss last year, millions of dollars going to the opera. Do you think maybe the comedy festival could get a bit more? Or
Well, they're doing fairly well. They certainly talk to me about funding, but they're doing a fantastic job. And they're about to start. They're about to start, of course.
Oh, of course
Comedy
we are.
festival.
Yeah,
Yep.
I've got my show.
So you're probably
April,
ready.
9:30,
Yeah,
Vic Bar,
okay.
That's right. Forgot about that, Lynn. Now, last thing I want to leave, you're a massive Western Bulldogs fan.
Yes.
Yes. You're the #1 female ticket holder.
Yep.
That's what I was reading.
Yes.
Yeah. How do you think they're going to go this season?
I think it's our year this year. We've sort of been working up to it, and I reckon it's our year this year. So I'd ask everyone who's holds the Bulldogs as their second team to trash the first team this year. Go for the Bulldogs. Help with the membership drive because they'll be on a winning team.
Oh, that's right. So you think they're going to make it all the way?
Yep.
Oh,
Well,
that's
Brownlow last year.
Oh, of course.
Yes.
Yeah. It's always a trend though. I noticed it with Ackermanis did the same thing. Most of the Brownlows that are redheads just bleach their hair. So they must get to that point and the AFL goes, we don't need that kind of publicity. Just bleach your hair. Lynn Cossey, thank you so much for dropping down.
Pleasure, absolute pleasure.
We're going to go to an ad break, but please thank Lynn Koski. And we'll be back soon. The StudioA regular Carl Chandler and some highlights from the studio fundraiser. Welcome back to Studio A. And now, some words from our very own Studio A sponsors. Oliver?
Thanks, Dave. Tonight's Studio A is brought to you by ice. It's really cold water. And water. It's like really warm ice. And McDonald's. Sure, you say you hate it now, but when it's 4 a.m. and you've been drinking for 8 hours, then come talk to me. Back to you, Dave.
Ain't that the truth? And now let's hear from one of the regulars down here at Studio A. Please welcome the thinking man's zebra crossing, Carl Chandler. Thank you. Cameraman. Carl, what have you been up to?
Well, as you know, Dave, a couple of weeks ago we did a big fundraiser, a big comedy fundraiser for Studio A to earn enough money so that we could run the show for the rest of the season and make sure that the crew weren't hungry enough that they had to steal stuff out of Vasily's garden. Now, we were lucky enough at our fundraiser to have 550 people, mainly to come down and see the big stars of the show, who were Fox FM and Rove's very own Hamish and Andy. Now, they did an awesome job and everyone loved them, which was great. Now, what I decided to do was take a camera down there and so we could show the viewers behind the scenes of what happens at a big-time fundraiser. So, take it from here, Carl.
Thanks, Stripey McGee. Here we are at Studio A's comedy fundraiser at Richmond's famous Corner Hotel, a venue more famous for music than comedy. Let's hope we're at least as funny as Nickelback. So who are you guys here to see tonight?
Hamish and Andy. Hamish and Andy. Hamish and Andy. Hamish and Andy. Carl Chandler.
Yes, it's Chandler. It's written right here. Let's get someone else. Are you guys excited about Hamish and Andy?
Yeah.
Excellent, because it's going to be just like they are on the radio, except $20 dearer. So I guess you're here to see Hamish and Andy too.
No.
You're a Studio A fan then?
No.
Why are you here?
I'm here to see Megan Gale. Hopefully she rocks up.
Hey, thanks Hamish and Andy so much for doing the benefit.
Yeah, no, that's our pleasure. That's awesome. Cheers, mate. What was this for again? We do a fair bit of this stuff. What's?
This is for our show Studio A on Channel 31.
Yeah, no, yeah. Probably to get some new riders. That's a
We had a
fundraising.
laugh the other night about going, it wouldn't kill them to sling someone a 50 to write some jokes for it. So good job.
Yeah, no, good
Happy to be
idea.
involved.
Yeah, I'm one of the riders.
That's what I was saying. These jokes are so good, they should pay these guys. This guy is a genius.
That's a fridge.
That's a great fridge.
Yeah,
you should get that on film. Is that real, Jen?
Good on you, mate.
I made you look a bit silly there, champ.
Okay, they made me look a little bit silly. They did that, and maybe they are doing what they love, and they are getting paid a lot of money to do that. And they've got thousands of fans, and one of them does go out with a supermodel.
Mm-hmm.
But I've got one thing that they don't.
Oh, what's that?
Okay, you called my bluff. Well played. Oh no, I do have one thing. I have one thing. Well, we all know that Hamish and Andy are famous for their funny sort of pranks and skits like that on Rove and on their radio show. I think everyone knows what they do, ghosting, when they sneak up behind someone without them knowing, a bit unsuspecting. Well, let's just say after our fundraiser, there was a new sheriff in town. Roll 'em.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the very wonderful Hamish and Andy. There we go, there we go. Ghosting, ghosting! Yeah. Carl Chandler. Mate, we knew you had talent, and it didn't go unnoticed down here at StudioA Montfron. We have the ghosting trophy for 2009.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Hold on a second. Tommy Daslow has just ghosted you there. Passing on. You held it for 10 seconds. Oh, what a nonce. We're going to have to pay copyright fees to Hamish and Andy. But thank you so much, Carl Chandler. You opened our eyes to fundraisers and beyond. Give them a round of applause, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll be right back after the break with Australian music legend Ross Wilson and comedy from the Bedroom Philosopher. Catch you soon.
I can't understand what's taking so long.
Thank you. Welcome back. Our next guest has had an amazing music career spanning from the 70s right up till now. He's got a CD in stores as we speak, gigs coming up all over the country, and TV appearances by a truckload, including this one. Please welcome to StudioA, Ross Wilson. Set that up, Robin. Yeah. Shaky ground? Yeah. We'd like to keep you on the edge of your seat.
Yes.
But Ross, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Yeah.
It's amazing spanning back on your career. Like, you're pretty much one of the most seminal artists in Australia.
What does seminal mean? I never quite understood that.
I think seminal's different to seminal, but...
yes.
Oh, and your son's in the audience. But just as... I mean, you've been doing it for now 40 years?
Yeah, I guess so. I haven't really been counting, but my first band, and we actually cut a record, you know, like a garage record, and put it out on our own label. It made the charts in Melbourne. That was 1965.
Yeah.
While I was still at school.
Yeah. Really? You were in a band at school?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And so all our friends went out and bought the record, and it made the charts, you know. Yeah.
Was it that thing though? Your teachers kind of going, you've really got to think about your career. Like this music thing's fine, but.
Well, it was funny because there wasn't a real culture about like supporting people who joined bands.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, you got to learn to do something else. But I never really wanted to do anything else. I didn't realise I was going to end up being a professional musician. It's just that I had a passion. I wanted to play music, and I found people I could do it with.
Yeah.
And the first bunch of people were at school. But our drummer it was a pretty strict school, and you weren't allowed to grow your hair. And our drummer, Richard, who later went on to become a film director, we were going on telly, so he went to see the headmaster, and headmasters don't really know what's going on, you know.
Yeah.
The vice principal's the one who terrorises everybody, and he goes, "Hey, we're going on TV, and we want to be able to grow our hair a little bit longer and not be picked on by the vice principal." And he said, "Well, that's a very good thing. You're going on television, you know, and you're playing music." And so he told the vice principal, we were allowed to grow our hair a bit longer, and the guy was like steam coming out his ears and all of that. But that was what it was like then, you know.
I thought it's carte blanche to do anything if you just can go on telly.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
That's right, the arts.
Yeah, I'm going to remember this. I'm on Channel 31. I'm going to do whatever I want.
You're on telly, you can do whatever you like. I'm not going to try anything right now, but you know.
We can do anything we want. Channel 31, no one's watching.
Yeah.
So, now, Ross, many people might know this because heavily on the other side of music. You do a lot of producing and things.
I have done producing. I do less these days.
Because you've produced Skyhooks.
I did, yeah.
Screaming Jets.
Screaming Jets, Jojo's Jet.
Yeah.
Joe Camilleri's first record.
You've even done a lot of writing. I know you wrote for John Farnham.
Well, a lot of people say, oh, you wrote for John Farnham. I didn't actually write for him. What he did is he heard some of my songs, like A Touch of Paradise was the first one, and he put that on Whispering Jack, and of course, at that time, he was like nothing. Everyone had sort of John Farnham, over.
Yeah. Yep.
And then he had a resurrection. But of course, before you can get resurrected, first you've got to die. You know, so that's what had happened. And,
and ask Jesus. Yeah.
So he knew the song A Touch of Paradise because he'd heard us playing it live, and Mondo Rock that was.
Yeah.
And he recorded it, you know, and the next thing, the record comes out and it goes...
Yeah.
And so it ended up selling like a couple of million copies around the world and in Australia. And so I credit John Farnham with making that song really popular. Like, there's an Italian version that...
Really?
Translates to something like Close to Heaven, you know.
Dripping with just Italian romance.
Yeah, and there's quite a few versions. There's the Kerry Ann Kennelly version on, on a hammer.
Do you own up to that?
Yeah, well, you know, there's versions all over the place. You know, so I think it's fantastic that Kerry Ann Kennelly recorded it. You know, well, it wouldn't have happened if it hadn't been for John Farnham. You know,
you didn't write for him. He stole it. That's nice.
He didn't steal it. He sold, like I said, he sold a couple of million copies. So, like, I get up every morning and I go, John Farnham, John Farnham.
Yeah, just hire another limo because you can. I'm not even using it. Duck down and get some milk, champ. But now, you're still doing a lot of touring. I got on your website, rosswilson.com.au, and I saw you doing still a lot of touring. You're travelling around.
What happened was I got married for the second time. I had a big gap in the middle. And I got married for the second time and started having little kids. And in fact, that's our 10th anniversary this week.
Is it?
Yeah, but if you've been a bit slack and then you start having kids again, believe me, you've got to work really hard. so I'm out there. That got me back out there, and I'm touring around, you know, and I'm playing all over the place. And
that's great.
Doing Day on the Greens with Jimmy Barnes and festivals and Port Fairy Folk Festival.
Yeah, exactly.
Just did that, yeah.
And you've got the new album Tributary,
which is I like to say it's like a little tribute to myself.
It's the best way to give a tribute.
Because it's one of those semi-acoustic albums, you know, and they go, well, you got to do semi-acoustic versions of your well-known songs, and I'm going, oh, it sounds a bit boring, you know. So my one, I actually put lots of drums on it and that as well. So it's about the heaviest semi-acoustic album you could get.
Oh, it's pretty heavy. You just get
it's
the acoustic.
heavier. The ones where they just got the money and just got a guitar and sang the song, you know.
Yeah.
But softer. You know.
So you finish songs, you don't smash the guitar, you just kind of go.
Yeah, I didn't really want to do it. Yeah, you don't want to do it just softer. You know. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. So
like rock.
Yeah, it's hard rock that just needs a bit of Viagra. Totally. Guys, if you want to catch Ross Wilson, he's on tour. Get on his website, www.rosswilson.com.au. You can see him around, and the album's out now.
It is.
All good CD album stores. Give a round of applause for Ross Wilson. Now, keeping the music theme up, our next comedy guest also has a gig coming up with a CD launch at the Corner Hotel on March 19th. You've probably heard him on Triple J, where he's a favourite. Please make him welcome the Bedroom Philosopher.
Hi. Thanks a lot. Just a guide to enjoying my performance. If you find me funny, I'm a comedian, and if you don't find me funny, I'm a musician. And if you don't like my music, I'm an installation artist. And if you don't like installation, I'm a knob. Never get your hair cut on Wednesdays, 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 because it's too late for the girl to ask you what you did on the weekend, and it's too early for the girl to ask you what you're going to do on the weekend. My head has had a nervous breakdown! My head has had a nervous breakdown! Thanks, that's my forthcoming album. How much longer has this guy got to go? Available on Cass Single. Thanks a lot. I'm actually doing. I've been on other Channel 31 shows recently. I was on Folk Idol, Top 8. I was also on that one. Have you heard of it? It's called So You Think You Can Dance Around the Issue of Your Constant Unemployment? Which is on... It's on about 3:30 in the morning. I think my mum was hosting it, and maybe I dreamt it. Anyway, I got a new album out called Brown and Orange, and I'm actually doing a album launch up and down the east coast of Australia, launching the album directly into cash converters up and down the... which is good. If any musicians watching, it's good. You can make money from your tour by selling your album as you go, and you're also getting it out there and, you know, like cutting out the middleman. This is my fan base. So anyway, this is a track from that. I had a dream that I got you pregnant and... Aphex Twin, thanks very much. Not now, you geezer! Get off the LSD, seriously. You're on in 5. Go have a sandwich in the green room. I had a dream that I got you pregnant and you gave birth to 2 black swans. I wasn't sure if we should keep them, but motherly milk from your breasts secreted. 2 years later, which is Swan years is 18, they blew out their candles and asked us if they were adopted. And we said, no. So anyway, I'm originally from Burnie in Tasmania. Hold the applause. We've got a lot to get through. It's like a high school assembly. From Burnie in Tasmania, and there's a saying, you can take the man out of Tasmania, and then it's just Tasia. Which sounds like an obscure Asian electronics company. Where's my Paul Schaefer? I need a Paul Schaefer. And, you know, let's celebrate that joke for 10 minutes. All right, and, industry talk. So, you know, and Burnie was a tough place to grow up. It was actually an event called Running of the Bogans on in the early 90s, and I was involved in that. And to explain it, it's just like Running of the Bulls, except instead of bulls, you've got bogans, right? And instead of adrenaline-charged tourists running for their lives, you've just got me, just holding a bubbly bill, just going, I'm Artie. You can still hear the echo of 1,000 thongs flapping. What I do now, I do my own version of a preemptive strike, and I just go into the toughest pub in Burnie in a pinstripe suit and go up to the toughest bloke and go, what are you looking at? And he just goes, well, I was going to say that to you. You read me mind. And then he buys me a drink, and then I glass him with my eyes. It's a metaphor. But I used to play football, right, and for South Burnie under-18s, and I wasn't really that good. But one entertainment night, right, at South Burnie Football Club, everyone was doing an act, and I did this really ill-advised piece of body poetry called The Big Game, which is like unrehearsed, needed a director. Anyway, went all right in Melbourne Fringe. Turn on your own people. And so the senior club captain, right, his wife had just left him, and everyone knew this, and he'd written this ballad especially about it, and I made a point of learning it, and I'd like to share it with you. Words can get fucked. I can't explain my love for you. Feelings and shit and that and you know and so forth. My heart's been kicked out of bounds on the floor. Words are shit house. The alphabet's a poof. I cried till my eyes were as dry as a dead dingo's donger. Seems years since the boulder maiden over. Oh, Trishine, I'm the ute and you're the diesel. Oh, Trishine, I'm the bowl and you're the cheesels. Fucking had me, but show us your dick. Words, I got nothing. They can on a matter piss off. Cried till me eyes are... No, I've done that one. You left me up shit creek without a paddle. No one tells you about shit waterfall flowing into shit sea. Why do you have to change the locks? Why do you have to change the locks? Fucking key change. Why don't you answer when I knock? We're like 2 peas in a pod. We were a ball of socks, and now I'm odd.
Thank you, Bedroom Philosopher. Don't forget, you can see the BP at the Corner Hotel on the 19th of March. We'll go to a break. See you soon. Guys, we've unfortunately come to the end of this evening's show here at StudioA, but I want to say a big thanks to everyone that was on. We obviously had the wonderful Oliver Clark showing off his acting prowess. Jess Harris, Lynn Kosky was on, Carl Chandler, Ross Wilson, Steele Saunders, and the wonderfully funny Bedroom Philosopher. They deserve a round of applause, guys. Good stuff. Finishing out tonight, we've got a band that's just dropped down, Momenta. They're going to be performing a track off their self-titled EP called Magic. This little nugget here is available available through iTunes and on their website and all good record stores. Their website, www. As you can see, I'm just riffing this. I'm not reading off the back. Momentaonline.com. So without further ado, taking us out tonight is Momenta. See you later. I've been Dave Thornton.
Met you at a party, but I've seen your face before. Something felt familiar, but I wasn't sure, yeah. Lost my concentration in the color of your lips, yeah. Before my heart would breathe again, I had to steal a kiss, I had to steal a kiss. I remember asking you, you believe in magic too, yeah. I remember asking you, you believe in magic too. Whoa. I remember asking you, you believe in magic too, yeah, yeah. I remember asking you, do you believe, do you believe? Watch the morning come. You whispered in my ear, we're the lucky ones, we're the lucky ones. The night is almost over, only one thing left to do, yeah. Let the night take over, got to lose myself in you. I remember asking you, you believe in magic too, yeah. I remember asking you, you believe in magic too. Whoa. I remember asking you, you believe in magic too, yeah. I remember asking you, do you believe, do you believe? Just the same, hey. I don't even know your name, but I love you just the same, hey. I don't even know your name, but I love you just the same, yeah. I don't even know your name, but I love you just the same. I remember asking you, you believe in magic too, yeah.
and the Oscar on there, the antenna goes.